Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. We're going to go Titleist 915 D2 hitting up against the R15 430. Now before you all say you should try the 460 to the D2 and so on and so forth, I probably already have. And I just want to show you how different head shapes here might influence your buying decisions subject to numbers using Titleist Pro V1X balls, the ball I play with, plus the GC2 HMT with its real ball data, which I'll present at the end of this video to show you how these two clubs might be or might not be performing very differently or very similar, when arguably they're very different in their makeup from sizes and what have you. I've done a lot of videos recently where you're finding out, and I've done this for years, so I don't know why it's so shocking now, that these clubs all go very similar distances. These ones should perform quite differently, so let's see how they do. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, Titleist 915 D2. Active recoil channel arc going all the way from the toe to the heel, which Titleist are very happy with. Helps the club kind of, I think it keeps it friendly across different parts or more of the face. We get the Sure Fit Tour neck. Brilliant design, they innovated it, everyone copies it, it's fantastic. Change loft and lie independently of each other. Comes in a black finish. I've got the white Curicage, I think, going in here. It's not the Curicage, sorry, the Aldilla shaft in here, the Rogue, sorry. And it's the black to the white, just looks fantastic. Little line-up line on top, which is flipped around from the previous year's model, R15. It's white to the black head, 430, so the smaller head, this is a 460. Looking down by the ball, it presents bigger as well than, more stretched back than the 430. This has the two sliding bars on the bottom. In this track at the bottom, this has a low forward CG where this one is further back. So they're quite different in their models. They're making sacrifices in different places. R15 has the changeable sleeve on it as well. Maybe not quite as clever as Sure Fit Tour, but does enough, people would argue. So let's go R15 430 first. So that's the smaller head, guys, for anyone who doesn't know, the 430cc. Putting it down by the ball, white black head looks fantastic. It is a small head, but it doesn't look pimple small. There's a bit down there. It's not minute, but there might be some of you out there who want a friendlier club than this. Let's give it a hit. Feels great off the face. I've ripped that. I hit this club nicely, to be honest. We're going to go show you the real ball numbers of the two clubs at the end. I'm interested to see how different they are. Spin models, I imagine, would be slightly different on these two clubs, which would empower you to making a few better decisions with your driving, hopefully. Let's give this another hit. Caught that slightly out of the heel, and that is curving a bit to the right, and that is the thing with maybe these heads where people argue. I mean, TaylorMade are going to argue that it's much more to do with distance losses than offline shots. So how much the ball gears or moves is going to be much more subject to your delivery of impact and then face the pass than it is how the head CG is low and back, high MOI, low MOI. That's much more to do with power losses on off-centre hits. I'm going to give this out one more hit, so to catch that quite heely. That's the one. I get that toey one, and that ball just goes. So often the toe is moving that. So high toe, the toe is moving faster than the inside of the club, so I'm getting it on its fastest point as well. Does feel good. I like the look of it. I think D2 915 Titleist, definitely, I mean, it's so much friendlier for anyone out there who's looking. You would compare, if you were looking for friendliest, the 460 version of that to this. This is more a video for everyone who's just panicking that all the drivers go the same distance. Don't worry guys, Santa is coming this year. Don't you worry, as long as you're not on the naughty list, like Steve Buzzer is. Right, let's give this a hit. This is the 460 Titleist 915 D2. Looks great down the ball, by the ball. Titleist just make fantastic looking clubs. It's a much higher pitch sound, this one. That is loud, it echoes around in this range. It is a much higher acoustic. Now, I don't know if it's the active recoil channel, the ARC system, that makes that pitch sound goes up, or they raise the pitch of the club to make you feel like that is doing more. I don't know which way round that's come. They wouldn't tell us, but you know, I like to play devil's advocate. Let's give it another hit. That felt good. I ripped that and it was a lovely flight. Gonna hit that really well. I do feel there's something to bear in mind when you're testing and thinking about clubs, and if it comes down to such small margins, which often it does with these modern equipment, I do feel with this head, this size, and the way this club is shaped and looked, and this is something you want to think about, that I could really go at this. If I want to hit this hard, I do feel like I can get away with it. And I just levered that as hard as I can to try and get my full distance. Where I feel a little bit, if I was to do the same with this one, so going down into the 430 head, even though I might want that lower spin, if this does offer that, which is meant to, would I then lose out because I haven't got the option to play golf? So sometimes I do want to hit the driver really hard. I mean, I've ripped that hitting it hard, but I do feel a little bit with this, like in a gaming environment, I'm going to feel more confident giving that the welly than that. Can you see how my buying decisions are being, there's so much more to it than just these numbers that lots of people are getting confused on. I would work that in. You know, if I'm playing a course where there's lots of par fives and I do require me to get it 300 yards out there, which is a real push for me, you know, I'm a 260 carry, 280 tops. So let's say I need to hit lots of 280s to play this tournament on this course where there's lots of par fives and everyone's capitalising on them apart from me because of that distance. I might think, right, D2, the bigger headed one, or even the 460, this one, because I do feel like when I can just step on it more with this and then still play my controlled one. You've got to remember when you're out there playing golf, you're playing golf, it's dynamic. You hit some harder, softer, you might draw some, fade some, you might cut everything because that's what you do, but you might try and cut one a bit less, you might try and cut one a lot, you might try and hit one higher and lower. Can you do that with all these clubs? Situation is as important as just standing here on a dry range just trying to bash the ball as far as possible. Can you perform with these clubs in situation rather than maybe just looking at max numbers when you launch one? There's something to think about also. Let's check the numbers out on these two clubs and see actually how different they really are. Right guys, the all-important numbers time. We're going Titleist D2 460 head, lower further back CG compared to R15 430, small head, further forward, lower CG. R15 430 carrying 269, spinning at 1.8. Boom de la boom for me, that's me maxing out. Titleist D2 carrying at 260, so it's 9 yards shorter on carry and spinning at 2.2. So spinning nearly 400 revs more. Now this video is more a case that lots of people wouldn't compare these two drivers per se. It's more to show you how you've got to change. If you pick two drivers that are similar CC, similar CG placements, same tolerances on face, there's no surprise why lots of my videos show these clubs going the same distances. Basically, you're talking about what brand and colour is stamped on the club within very small differences. Now, when you take two clubs like this, which are different head sizes, very different CGs, different ideas, shows you, for me, how that distance and that kind of performance changes. Now, yes, I like the extra 9 yards I get over the carry of the D2. You've got to remember, I'm very confident with my driver. I enjoy using it. It's one of my strongest clubs. The question that you would have to ask yourself is, do you want to gain 9 yards, but possibly, and this isn't factual, but possibly lose maybe some dispersion, maybe lose on off-centre hits, so you might get your longest ones, but you also get your shorter ones from that one, which is why you need to go and get tested and fitted yourself for these clubs. This is just a general overview of what they can do for me, to give you some ideas of what they possibly might do to you, subject to how you deliver. If you put these two clubs into different situations, so rather than just a range here where I'm just kind of hitting it freely with no kind of penalties, if you like, for off centre and whatever. If you put it into a situation, so I game these two clubs for a month each or not, you might find I also sacrifice that 9 yards because I feel like I can hit fairway more with that bigger headed one. Or I might find, because I'm quite confident with my driver, that I'll keep my 9 yards and I can still hit fairway. So that's a combination of that smaller head shape, that different CG pace, and my ability. Do you see what I'm saying here? The fact that that one goes 9 yards further than that one doesn't mean it's better. It's better for me, and it's better in this situation, but is it better when I'm trying to hit fairway? Is it better when I'm trying to hit the ball really hard? So do I hit the bigger headed one more successfully when I'm trying to hit my long drive, so I'm on a par 5 and there's a bit of room and I'm opening my shoulders, those kind of things. They're things that when you go to your fit, you want to think about, think about talking with the fitter, saying, what if I hit a drive like this, but I also hit one like this? Can I try both and see how they change? So yes, for me, out of those two, the R15 430 probably would go in the bag out of those two, but I could quite easily see it flipping out if I started missing fairways to it, to the possibly more looking friendly D2. Interesting numbers, guys. Hope that helps. Post comments down below. A bit more of a video there on. They're not all the same, even though they are all built to the same tolerances. There are some different compromises in clubs, and that's what it's about with compromises. You compromise the head, you compromise where the CG goes, you improve spin, possibly distance, but you might compromise then on loss of distance if you miss hit. You might compromise on how much twist you get on the club when you miss hit, those kind of things. It's a compromise. So you've got to get out there and hit shots, test them for yourself to see which compromises you want to make. Extra distance, 9 yards, lower spin, possibly not as straight. I know the dispersion on these two tests is actually tighter with R15, R30, but the dispersion is me. It's not the club. I could do this test again and those dispersion numbers would completely flip over. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think. I always love to hear how you guys interpret the videos and also interpret the data. So interesting sometimes how some people interpret it so different, but love to hear your comments. Still, thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.